Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by Advanced Auto Parts. I pulled in project RSX Resurrection, and I went ahead and did the drive axle. The only thing different from the Sierra is I had to pull it out of the actual transaxle itself, add some fluid, make sure everything was all right, but it was the same thing. But lo and behold, as I was doing it, you can see the ball joint right here. Man, this thing was all deteriorated, dirt getting in there, flopping around. Have to change it while we're there. Just took a big old hammer and knocked it right out of there. It's press fit, not as easy to put back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this new ball joint here, and we're going to go ahead and install it into here.
Wow, I thought it was just a drive axle job.
It was a drive axle. While you're having fun, look what I found, man. It's a mess.
Holy cow.
Go ahead and replace it. And I'm glad you're here because I can actually use your help.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get this thing up there and get it started, and then what we need to do is take that press tool.
Yep.
You can knock them out with a hammer, but you're sure not going to put it back in.
Yeah.
Especially on this application because it's located in the spindle. So if you get that started up there,
yep.
I'll back this off of here.
Another classic place where the right tool for the job matters.
Yeah, and an extra hamster
matters. Get this fairly true right here. I'm good down here.
Now you feel straight?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
feel pretty good.
Looking pretty good. All right, now we can put a big breaker bar on it. I'm going to try to just go ahead and pull it in. You might got some glasses there.
Yep.
Watch your eyes.
You
We're
got
use
it.
a
Go
lot
ahead.
of pressure on here. You ready?
Yep.
Man, look at that. Boy, the right tool makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
Yep.
Now you can see we pulled it right up in there. Brian, you can take this joker over to the car.
Sure can. You know what?
Before you go, don't forget, then the kit move gives you everything you need. The retaining clip, the nut, along with the Zerk fitting. Make sure you throw those in.
That's actually a big upgrade. The other original didn't have a Zerk fitting on it.
It sure didn't, no. So that thing will be like new. It'll handle better along with our CV
putting me back
axle.
to work.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Now there's a couple of options. When you're doing those ball joints, they may be screwed in. This one here is actually riveted in, so you'd have to cut the rivets off and then go ahead and knock it out. But you saw how much work that was. I mean, it's a lot of work. Why not just buy a loaded one? Moog says the whole ball joint loaded with the control arm. You get the bushings and everything, get alignment, everything's going to be in good shape. Let's see how Brian's coming along with that spindle.
Okay, we've got the lower ball joint nut on, but not tight yet. We've got the top strut mounting bolt in, again, loose, so we can work in the second mounting bolt. Don't forget, we're going to run these down pretty tight, but we got to get in alignment after this project since we've had it all apart. We also have the axle nut on and torque down. Pry bar's your friend there. You can hold it still and get the right torque on this nut. Hey, remember the nut we showed earlier, said it was oblong? This is not. There's the indentation you may have to make to hold that nut in place. Just check your application. All right, I'm going to go ahead and run these down. One. Okay, good. Now, we're going to get this brake line bracket reinstalled. I'm going to hang the rotor, get the caliper back in place. I'll tell you what, this lower ball joint was pretty easy to diagnose for John. It fell apart in his hands. But on your vehicle, if you want to check it, if you've got high mileage, there's a right and a wrong way to check it, depending on what type of suspension you have. John's going to explain that.
When talking ball joints, it's all about understanding a load carrying and a following ball joint. That's determined by spring location. On this front end here, you can see the spring's located right here. That's putting the pressure down here. This is the load carrying ball joint. This is the follower. To check this one, I want to take a jack stand and I want to come up under the control arm to take the tension off the spring. Once I do that, I can get a big pry bar, put it up under the tire, pick up and down on it, and check for any perceivable movement. Now, some cars have the spring location right here on top. Well, that changes the whole ball game because what happens, this one becomes the load carrying, this one down here is on the follower. So what you want to do then is you want to take your jack stand and you want to put it over on the frame of the vehicle and lift up. That will relieve the tension. Take your pry bar once again, check it, look for any movement. If you have any movement, you can go ahead and replace them just like we did. And Brian's about done with his. Let's check in with him.
Okay. Top mounting bolt on the caliper mounting bracket. Let me get the lower one here. Kind of got to feel your way in. Tell you what, we're close on this project. Now, we've covered a lot about drive axles today, and we've shown you a couple different options. Now, it's important when you're tacking everything back together, one of the most important steps along the way, in this ball joint with a castellated nut, make sure you get the cotter key in. You don't want anything to have any chance to separate. We didn't re-torque the strut mounting bolts because, frankly, as soon as this wheel goes back on, we're headed right down the road for a new alignment. And everything else is buttoned up, and our RSX is one step closer to its first autocross. Now, of everything we've shown you today, it's all fairly low horsepower, fairly pedestrian application. You want to see how the big boys do it? John's headed down to Bernie's Speed Shop. That's where they got some serious drive axles. Stay with us when we come back on Tech Garage, presented by Advanced Auto Parts.